Welcome back to the NETRUSH Report, your home for emotional, dramatic, and brutally honest tennis stories. If you live for the passion, the rivalries, and the moments that define this sport, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss the truth behind the headlines. Casper Ruud is one of the most level-headed players on the ATP Tour. The Norwegian rarely shows frustration, never calls out fans, and is often praised for his composure on and off the court. But even he has limits. After his straight-sets victory over Marin Cilic at the Stockholm Open, Ruud used his post-match press conference to deliver a heartfelt and, honestly, painful message about the darker side of professional tennis. He spoke about something few players openly discuss: the abuse athletes face from online bettors. In Ruud's words, "It's just sad. People have no shame anymore. After a loss, you open your phone and it's hundreds of messages. People who lost their money are angry, not because of tennis, but because of their bets." He explained that most of these comments come from anonymous accounts, faceless trolls who insult players for ruining their parlays or accumulators. What's worse, many of them go beyond casual criticism. They send personal insults. They mock his family. They question his integrity, all because he lost a match. Ruud admitted that he's learned to stay away from reading these comments, but even then, it gets to him sometimes. You try to ignore it, but when it becomes hundreds of messages, it's hard not to notice, Ruud said. At some point, you realize these are not real fans. They're gamblers who see you as a number, not a person. Ruud's comments hit at a growing issue in modern tennis. With sports betting now legal and mainstream in so many countries, players are under more scrutiny than ever. Every unforced error, every missed serve, every loss, it's tied to someone's money. What used to be a game of passion and athletic excellence has, in some corners, turned into a financial gamble. For bettors, it's about odds and returns. But for the players, it's their lives, their bodies, their reputations. And it's not just Ruud. Top players like Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and even Novak Djokovic have mentioned the increasing online negativity after matches. The link between betting and hate is undeniable. Ruud's message stood out because he didn't just complain. He reflected deeply on why this is happening. In the same press conference, Ruud also dropped a truth bomb that many casual fans might not know. Despite the record-breaking prize money in events like Indian Wells and Miami, not all players are making big profits. Ruud explained that while tournaments are getting richer, so are the costs that come with them. Traveling for weeks, staying in hotels, flying coaches and physios around the world, it all adds up. It looks great when they announce bigger prize money, but the reality is many players don't see that as a real improvement, Ruud said. You can lose in the first or second round after spending thousands just to get there. He pointed to the two-week Masters events like Indian Wells and Miami, tournaments that have expanded in size and duration. While they attract more fans and more sponsorship, Ruud says they're a logistical and emotional drain. It's more traveling, more nights away from home, he explained. You can spend 2 weeks in a hotel room, and if you lose early, it's just wasted time and money. Still, Ruud acknowledged the trade-off. Longer tournaments mean more visibility, higher prize pools, and bigger rewards for those who go deep. "I understand it's good for tennis overall," he said. "It's good business. But for players, especially those outside the top 20 or 30, it's not always a win." Ruud's honesty didn't stop there. He also had advice for the new generation of tennis players chasing fame, fortune, and sponsorship deals. "Don't let the talk about money fool you," he said. "Yes, tennis can be rewarding, but it's also very expensive. You need to win a lot just to break even." He described how appearance fees, travel expenses, and coaching salaries can eat into a player's prize money quickly. And when bettors expect perfection from every athlete, the emotional cost becomes even heavier. Ruud's underlying message was clear. The sport needs to protect its players, not just glorify its prize pools. The online abuse issue has been haunting tennis for years, but it's only getting worse. Platforms like X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok are flooded with angry messages whenever a player loses a match that bettors had money on. Ruud's story is just one of many. Players have reported receiving death threats, racial slurs, and disgusting insults after simple defeats. Swiatek has spoken about how players are not robots. Nick Kyrgios once called out bettors who attacked him after losing in doubles. Even Rafael Nadal's team has received hate for injury withdrawals. The emotional damage is real. Athletes are trained to deal with competition, not with anonymous hate 24/7. Ruud said he's learned to create boundaries. He doesn't check his phone after matches, and he avoids reading mentions on social media. But, as he put it, you still feel it in the background. Ruud's comments tie into a broader theme we've seen emerge in tennis: mental health awareness. Naomi Osaka, Nick Kyrgios, and Paula Badosa have all opened up about the toll of constant criticism. Ruud is not someone who usually talks about emotions publicly. But this time, he admitted that the hate, combined with travel fatigue and high expectations, can wear players down. You have to remind yourself why you're doing it, Ruud said. At the end of the day, you play because you love tennis, not because you owe anyone a win. That line might just be the most powerful thing he said all week. The modern ATP calendar is relentless. Tournaments stretch across continents, with only brief windows for rest. The two-week Masters format that Ruud criticized isn't just longer, it also means more pressure to perform. For top players like Ruud, who are constantly balancing form, travel, and physical fatigue, the schedule can become overwhelming. And when that's combined with angry bettors filling their inboxes with hate, the burnout becomes inevitable. Ruud isn't against growth or modernization. In fact, he praised events like Monte Carlo and Paris Masters for maintaining tradition while keeping things efficient. But he made it clear, growth should never come at the cost of players' well-being. Casper Ruud has always carried himself with dignity. He's known for his clean game, respect for opponents, and humble demeanor. Even in defeat, he rarely shows anger. That's why his comments made such an impact. When someone like Ruud speaks out, people listen. He's not a provocateur. He's not looking for headlines. He's simply calling for humanity, a reminder that athletes are not gambling chips. And when he said, "It's just sad," it wasn't a throwaway phrase. It was disappointment, not just in the hate he receives, but in what the sport risks becoming if this trend continues. The question now is, what can be done? Some tournaments have already started working with social media platforms to ban abusive accounts linked to betting-related harassment. Others have launched campaigns reminding fans to bet responsibly and respect athletes. But Ruud's case shows that it's not enough. The pressure on players is rising faster than the protections around them. And while money continues to pour into tennis from sponsors and betting companies, the emotional cost often lands directly on the players' shoulders. Ruud's warning about the illusion of bigger prize money fits perfectly here, because the sport's growth should not just be measured in dollars. It should be measured in respect, in support, in how we treat the people who make the game worth watching. Casper Ruud's message was simple but powerful. Play for love, not for the bettors. Protect your peace, not your mentions. And remember, behind every serve, every loss, and every point, there's a human being. If you felt Ruud's honesty and think tennis deserves more conversations like this, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to NETRUSH Report for more real tennis stories, straight from the heart of the game. Because here, we don't just report tennis. We report the truth behind it.